Hello everyone. Today we're going to make one of my favorite recipes for desserts anyway. Recipe called Frangelico. And it was acquired from one of our favorite historic homes that was turned into a restaurant called Typic New Place. It was the old Studebaker mansion. Studebaker in the South Bend city area 100 years ago built covered wagons. And then they moved and progressed into wagons and then into cars, automobiles. The last one they produced was the Avanti, which was a pretty cool sports car. Anyway, we have a recipe from them that was acquired. And it calls for cream cheese, whipping cream, egg yolks, sugar, vanilla, and some liqueur, Frangelico. And this is a hazelnut liqueur. So it's optional, but it gives it it's not a high proof. This is only 40 proof, 20% alcohol. So fairly low. Your bourbons start at 80, so this is half of that. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing first is whipping up the whipped cream, and then we're going to be creating the cream cheese side of things. So let's get started with that. So first, let me get this into place. Da-da. There. Let me clean out some of this stuff. That'll work. So let's see what the recipe. So it is 2 cups heavy cream. So we'll pour 1 cup. And then 2 cups. Set that aside. And get my little spatula out, because I hate wasting anything, so we're just gonna get this out. What's the old saying, adage, waste not, want not? Alright, so that's all in there. And then we're gonna put the whipping attachment on, or paddle blade. And if anything falls in, take it out. Lock it into place. I always start it low first, and then work my way up, trying to not get it to splatter so much. And while that's doing that thing, it's whipping, I'm going to go put this back. Gradually increase the speed. And if you're getting splatter, you can put foil or a towel over this so things don't spread out. We'll put that in a bowl when we're done. Ah, looking good. So we have nice peaks. Nice and fluffy. And for all you people out there who are lactose intolerant, make sure you take your pills before you do that. I'm one of them. Make sure we get it all out of the bowl. And put that back in there. Now the next thing we're going to do is 4 egg yolks. So I've got an old egg yolk separator here. It's got a little hole, so you crack the egg, you pour it out. Sometimes works, but I usually just would do it in the egg shell, but these brown egg shells don't crack very smoothly. So we're going to pour off the white, just keeping the egg yolk itself. So 1 egg yolk. And we'll have this for breakfast tomorrow. And 2 egg yolks. As the Count would say. I don't know if is actually saying something, but I guess it's a word. You can write it out. I don't know where I got this egg separator. I don't know if it came from Dawn.
My mom and dad brought back from Turkey.
Oh, history. Dawn's mom and dad brought it back with them for us. All right, those go in there. This is done, goes in there. Wash up. Get the lid for that, which I think is this one. Yep. So I'll make Dawn eggs in the morning because she loves her eggs in the morning. Don't you, honey?
Yep.
All right, 4 eggs. Beat. I could have used the other one too, but I think this one works better. Lock it in. Turn it on. Now, after the eggs have been beaten a little bit, we're going to gradually pour in our sugar. Now, sugar is a super fine sugar. You can use granular sugar, but actually doesn't dissolve too much and it stays kind of gritty. So we use an extra fine sugar. I've never actually used powdered sugar. I don't know how that would work, but we want to slowly pour this in. This helps to break up the actual egg yolk. And again, this is just 1.5 cups or 20 ounces. We don't want to add it all at one time because we actually want it to work into that egg, and the crystal of the sugar will be cutting through the cells of that egg yolk and help open it up. Now at the same time, I'm now going to be adding my vanilla. And this vanilla is 1 teaspoon. So here's my teaspoon. And this is Dawn's specially made, homemade vanilla. And it's actually made with a bourbon, a high proof bourbon. Normally it's made with grain neutral spirit, like a high-end vodka. I shouldn't say high-end, but high alcohol content vodka, or even, probably better yet, a Everclear at about 190 proof. So you'll notice that it is now kind of a light cream color, and we still have about half of the sugar to put in it. Now we're going to add the Frangelico. Again, that's the hazelnut. And that calls for 2 tablespoons, but you can do it to taste. I like a little bit more. And I'm just going to squeegee down the sides. Some of that sugar works its way up. And scrape it off. And if you look at the beaters, you can still see some crystals. So plastic, we're going to go recycle that. While that does that, I'm going to have some ginger beer, non-alcoholic. Kind of a heavy ginger ale taste. Alright. Now I'm going to switch out the blades. I'm actually going to use the paddle. And the paddle actually has an edge on it that scrapes. clean up my work area a little here as we go along. All right, so that can come out. So now what we're going to be doing is adding our cream cheese. Now it's important to let this sit out so that it gets to room temperature. Set it out as long as you can. I found out that if I put it in cold, it'll develop little hard white specks of undissolved, uncreamed in cream cheese, or unbeaten in, mixed in cream cheese. And I just don't like that texture, and I don't like the way it looks. So we're going to put in 4 of these, but not all at one time. So we're going to start with 1, let that go, and then we're going to add the other ones. So somewhere, there we go. Lock it, especially lock it on this one. Start slow. Let that big chunk dissolve. Well, it doesn't really dissolve, it basically gets creamed. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to turn that up a little bit. And you can see already there's kind of big chunks. Again, we want to avoid that with the little ones. And I like to scrape off the packaging to get all of it out. So while that's doing that, I'm going to get the next one ready. And we've always used Philadelphia cream cheese. You can experiment with other varieties. So now I'm going to put in the next one and scrape this one. Lock it, start it low. And we love our KitchenAid. It definitely has always been a workout horse for us. Woo! It's again one of those times where you can put a towel over it. So things don't splatter. And start it up again. So 3 down, 1 more to go. Now ready for the last one. Put it in, lock it. Let's stay slow for a little bit. pretty creamy. Get the splatter off the camera. So that's what it looks like. Has a nice creamy texture. Not overly sweet. If you want it more sweet, just put more sugar in. So now, what we're going to do is fold in the cream or the whipped cream, and that'll make it a little bit more lighter. If you like it more light, then instead of using the heavy whipping cream, just use a normal whipping cream. Just make sure there's a lot of air gets into it. So we'll take this off. And get all this goodness off of it. Well, not all of it, because you need some to lick off the beater paddle. Okay, so now unlock it, set it aside, pull out the plug, slowly put this down, and clean up. And we'll get the rest later. Now set that aside. And so now we're going to fold in the whipping cream. So you don't want to stir it too hard, because you want it to not break those air bubbles in the whipping cream. Again, we're trying to fluffen up this mixture. So I'm just picking up, putting it down, picking up, putting it down. I'll show you. Dun, dun, dun. So just folding it over, folding it over, folding it over. Put that back down. Now, depending on your bowl, you make it to the point where it's too small, so I usually put my cream in a big bowl, or the bowl that I'm going to be finishing it in. Bring that down here, do some more folding. You can see that texture go from a yellow, a distinct yellow or pale yellow and distinct white from the cream, to more of a pale blended consistency. So it looks good. Again, I don't want to go too far and overdo it and break those bubbles up, but you'll know when you stop seeing white streaks that you've got it mixed pretty well. And now we just have to package it up and drop it off. We made this batch for my nephew Mitchell, who's in town. His brother is in California, who is not in town, so Brian, you're not getting any because I'm not shipping it through the mail. No telling how it's going to get delivered. So that's going to go stay there. And now I'm going to lick this bowl out. This one's just kind of the pure cream cheese mixture. Honey, you want to come lick the bowl?
No.
And that's it. Also, the last thing is we typically top it with a blackberry or a raspberry mixture that's got. And let me get that. And we've already made that because we made this not too long ago, and we used the entire thing of jelly. So we have a jar of raspberry jelly, and I always use the raspberry that's got the jelly that has the seeds already removed because I hate those little seeds. So try and get the raspberry jelly or preserves or jams that are seedless. So 1 jar of that, maybe what? 2 or 3 tablespoons of water, and then a brandy liqueur, raspberry liqueur, and about 2 or 3 tablespoons of that. Yeah, stir in the saucepan, overheat until it's thinned out. Not trying to boil it, but you're just trying to mix it up. And then set that aside, and that's the topping. Not necessarily served hot, so let that cool. And then when you serve this, then you can top it with that, or let your guests top it as they desire. It's very sweet, but very good. So that's it.